In the United States, something feels off. Prices are high, tension is rising, and people are starting to leave in decent numbers. I'm one of them. So, in this video, I'm gonna give you 5 reasons why you should consider leaving the US before it's too late. And if you're new here, my name's Alex. On this channel, I share everything that I've learned about leaving the United States and living a much higher quality of life in Latin America as a man over 35. So if that sounds interesting to you, be sure to subscribe. Now let's dive in. So reason number 1 is skyrocketing prices in the United States. So I was doing a little bit of research where I'm from. I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts. I'm actually from a suburb north of Boston, Massachusetts called Salem. You might have heard of it. It's very popular during Halloween season. So in Boston right now, just looking at housing, the median home price is going for about $910,000. All right, now that's in the city. Now in Salem, which is a suburb about 35, 40 minutes outside of Boston North, you're looking at 622,000. All right. And then for rent in Salem, the median rent for a 1-bedroom, guys, the median rent is $2,185 for a 1-bedroom in Salem, in a suburb 40 minutes outside of the main city. And then in Boston, it's crazy. It's over 3,500. All right. Now, let me contrast that with a 3-bedroom apartment of my living situation here in Colombia, okay? I'm in a mid-sized city here in Colombia. It's about a million people, a little over a million people in the metropolitan area, and I'm paying $761 for this 3-bedroom that you're probably seeing on B-roll right now with a, looking on to my right over here, beautiful view of the city, good-sized balcony. I have like a 2-person couch there. I have 3 bedrooms, like I said, 2 full bathrooms, kitchen with new appliances, washer dryer in unit. The building has a gym, it has a pool, it has a game room, 24-hour concierge. I'm 5 minutes walking to basically everything I need, to grocery stores, Éxito here in Colombia, to more gyms if I need it, but I like working out here, to first date spots, to malls, right? So I literally have everything walkable here, and I'm only paying $761 a month, okay? Now, the median income, after doing some research, for a single person in Boston is $72,000. And then when I tried researching for Salem, it didn't give me, I wasn't able to find this research, but obviously it's going to be less than Boston. So we'll say somewhere between 60 to 80K is what a single person earns in Salem, Boston area, okay? Now, let's break this down to Salem because obviously more people are going to live outside of Boston than inside of the city. So if you're making $5,000 a month gross, which is about 60K a year, factor in 25% taxes, which is another conversation I'll get into later in this video, you're left with $3,750 after taxes, okay? Now take away $2,000 in rent, and we're rounding down here, you're left with $1,750 for everything else, okay? So now factoring in your car payment, right, your car insurance, your gas, your groceries, your health insurance, eating out, maybe going out, having a date night or two, you are barely scraping by with $1,750 a month, right? Earning $5K a month gross. Meanwhile, in countries that I live in, such as Colombia and Paraguay, if you're earning $2,000 a month, if you're earning $2,500 a month, you are living like a king here. All right. Obviously, when your rent is $761 a month, you don't have much after that. This is your biggest expense right here. So again, if you're earning just half of this amount, right, half of 60K, we'll call it 30K a year, which is about 2,500 gross. And if you're living outside of the country, you're paying much less in taxes, which again, I'll go into this conversation after. Transparency, I'm not a tax accountant, so talk to a professional about this stuff, but this stuff isn't really a secret anymore. So I'll go into that in the next section. Yeah, so with just 2,500 a month, I mean, you're living in a modern apartment. By the way, I said a 3-bedroom, guys, okay? Let me highlight that, not a 1-bedroom. So a 3-bedroom in Salem, you're probably looking at least 28, 3,000. Boston, I won't even talk about that. All right, so if I were to compare this with a 1-bedroom, then I'm probably spending less than 500. All right, and we're looking at maybe 5, 6, 7 times less in rent than I would back home. So with just 2,000 or 2,500 a month, you're living in a modern apartment. You're living in year-round sunshine weather, much better weather. Everything's walkable, everything's safe where I'm at, and you have money left over to save and invest. All right, so just think about that, right? If you're earning 30K a year, you're working half as hard, half as many hours to live 3 times as good in a different country. This is a big reason why people are leaving the US is because of skyrocketing prices. Reason number two is healthcare cost. All right. We've been told in the US that, especially in Massachusetts, again, Boston, we have the best healthcare system in the world. Guys, this hasn't been my experience. All right. In fact, the truth is, we have the most expensive healthcare system in the world for, in my opinion, the lowest value. All right. Now, healthcare is actually the number one reason for bankruptcy in the US. Just fun fact that I learned during this research. Even routine checkups have become a hassle. Like trying to book an appointment can take weeks or months just for a routine physical. When I'm paying insurance there too. So in the US, I've been self-employed since the age of 19, right? I've had a 10-year real estate career, and I'm still self-employed to this day. So I would pay several $100s a month, guys, just to have basic health insurance, really for emergencies, right? That's really what I had it for, in case there was ever an emergency. But I was paying several hundred a month. I would still obviously pay a copay every year to visit the doctors, for them to basically tell me I'm healthy, stuff I already knew. So it was really just a drain each and every month, call it like $400 or $500 a month, right? To pay to have an annual checkup for them to tell me I'm good. All right. So in Latin America, what I do instead is I pay about $55 a month for Nomad insurance. This is going to cover my emergencies up to about 250 to 500,000. If I were to have an emergency and need to pay, hospital bills, all that stuff. So I have that, which is only $55 a month, a fraction of what I paid in the States. And then out of pocket, whenever I want to visit the doctors to get a checkup or to get blood tests, it's always less than $100. And I always just walk right in, guys. I'm in, I'm out, I'm done, and I'm paying a fraction of what I would pay in the States. For doctors who are really good, really intelligent, for a system that's efficient, that I've gone to, let's see, in Paraguay and Mexico and Colombia, the 3 countries that I've been to the doctors for and been part of the healthcare system. And it's always been a good experience, and it's always been a fraction of the price. So I always have good things to say about the healthcare in Latin America. Now, if you're someone who needs medicine or you need prescriptions, it's always more affordable outside of the US. You can always, well, not always, you can usually get it over the counter without needing a prescription, right, if you need it. When it comes to cosmetic stuff, like I've gotten my teeth with Invisalign, I've gotten that done, like teeth whitening, cleaning, that sort of thing. I just pay out of pocket. It's always a fraction of what I would pay in the States, and I'm very happy with the result. And here's another truth, guys. When it comes to preventative healthcare, I'm actually healthier now living out here than I was in the States. Now, why is that? Well, first off, I don't need a car here, so I'm always walking a lot more. I'm always moving a lot more. Because I have less financial stress, less financial overhead, I find more time to do activities such as running, boxing, working out, doing calisthenics. I always make time and I prioritize time for that because I have less stress. I have less reasons to work 50, 60-hour weeks like I was back home. All right. So it's going to improve your movement. It's going to improve the quality of foods that you eat out here. Everything's more organic and more affordable too. Avocados are abundant. I eat at least 1 avocado a day. All the vegetables are fresh, and I don't live under financial or political stress every day, which is really the norm in the United States. And no one really talks about this part, but a more affordable and more natural lifestyle is going to make you feel better, right? It's going to prevent reasons for going to the doctors or using healthcare system. It's not really healthcare system in the States, it's more sick care. So now I feel I get the best of both worlds, right? I get quality, affordable healthcare, and I also get preventative healthcare just by the lifestyle and the way that I live out here. So you get the best of both worlds. Now, reason number 3 is rising taxes. All right. And if we're being honest with ourselves, there's only one direction where taxes are headed in the United States, and that's up. Why is that? US has trillions of dollars in debt, at least 36 trillion, maybe more. Again, once you get to these numbers, it's like, it doesn't even make sense anymore. So keep in mind, someone has to still pay all this. If you're a millennial or even younger, then it's going to be your generation that pays for it. Things are just heading up, right? As far as income taxes are going to rise, capital gain taxes on your investments can only go up, and property taxes. All these things are going to just keep going up. So if you stay put in the United States, you will be carrying more and more weight just to keep the system on life support, right? And another thing, the US is the only country in the world that taxes its citizens on income, no matter where you live, no matter how long you live outside the country. And this is why I'm structuring my life legally to reduce all of that. So I choose to live longer term in countries that are what's called a territorial tax system, where you don't get taxed inside the country as long as all of your income comes from outside the country. And you can also take advantage of the foreign earned income tax exclusion. So if you're outside of the States for a certain amount of days, then there's a huge benefit to paying less taxes there as well. All right. So this is how the smart ones are doing it, where, like I said above on the earlier section, like if you're earning 60, 80K, you're probably paying around 25%. It's different for everyone. I'm just throwing out some averages here, but it's not uncommon to live outside the States and pay less than 10 or 5%, and in some cases to pay less than 10 or 5% in taxes, which obviously gives you a lot more financial wiggle room and a lot more financial freedom when you're keeping a lot more of your money. Reason number 4 is the political divide and the social unrest in the US. All right. So it's not just about money, but the US also feels more divided than ever. Family members and friends have to walk on eggshells with certain topics, right, to not upset each other. My dad, and just Massachusetts in general, is a very left state. Now, I've never been a political person, all right? I've always felt I control my destiny. Let me just focus on myself, my family, my financial future, and not worry about who's president or any of that, right? But Massachusetts doesn't think that way. So because I don't really support either side, automatically people, including my dad, think I'm on like the right side and that I support Trump. I could care less, right? Like I said earlier. So even if you say the wrong thing, you're now considered like you're on the other side, and you're now like the enemy, right? Now, I have a good relationship with my dad. All right. We talk every single week. But if he wasn't my dad, then this one thing right here will just be like too much of a reason for us to not speak to each other, basically. That's how I feel in the States, right? You're either one or the other. And even if you have a family member or a close friend, you have to like tread that conversation lightly. It's just what it comes down to. So I also used to work on a relocation offer. And I remember people saying, again, a relocation offer, people from the States who are looking to move to Europe mainly older women or older couples looking to move to Europe. And a big reason for them wanting to move is because they felt unsafe and uncomfortable in their own neighborhood, right? They were usually on the left. And if they had anyone on the right that was living in their neighborhood, that automatically felt unsafe, which to me is kind of crazy. So people in the US are scared, they seem angry, they're tuned out. And honestly, I'm just not interested in any of that. I want no part of that conversation. All right. Now that energy doesn't exist here where I'm at in Colombia. All right. So I walk outside, no one cares about your political beliefs, no one even asks about it. People just say hello, they smile, they're warm, and it's a lot more refreshing than probably what you're experiencing in the States. Now, reason number 5, the window to leave the United States is closing. This is something that most people won't realize until it's too late. Residencies and visas are going to get harder and harder each year, and we're already seeing it. Just 3 years ago, it was much easier to get a residency in Paraguay or Mexico. The requirements were much less. You could get permanent residency before, now it's just temporary. So these things are getting more tight. And some countries will begin adding net worth requirements. Others are already increasing the income threshold. And if you think governments aren't going to tighten these programs, then you're wrong. Because as more and more people begin to wake up, as more and more people want to leave their Western country, whether it's US, Canada, UK, more and more of these people are going to be applying for residencies and certain visas in these second, third world countries that are on the rise. And that means that these doors are not going to stay open forever, okay? Right now, you still can get long-term residencies in some countries with less than 5K in your bank account. But in a few years, I think it's going to take probably 500,000 or more, or you'll need to be at least a millionaire to start getting these residencies. So it's only going to get more difficult. All right, so final thoughts. My opinion, you got one or two options. All right, option 1, you stay in the US, you try to make things better from the inside. Best of luck to you. I feel that United States as a nation is now headed downhill. I think it was great during the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, maybe even 90s. And then since then, it's just been going downhill. And there are certain countries that are now starting to be on the rise, kind of where the US used to be, right? Now it's going up, and that's where I want to be. And I talk about these topics in different videos, so I won't go too deep into this one. Option 2 is to realize that the new American dream seems to be to leave America, to live a better life for much less, more peace, more freedom, less stress, and ultimately a higher quality of life. I remember when my friends and family, when I told them I was leaving, like the reactions was people thought I was either crazy. And this was back in 2022. Or they just felt, well, aren't you nervous? Aren't you a little anxious? And for me, it was actually one of the easiest decisions that I've ever made. And by far, it's been the best one as well. So those are just 5 reasons why you should consider leaving your home country. I have a lot more reasons in other videos if you want to check those out. But if this topic resonated with you, and if you have been considering for some time to want to rebuild a new life in a new region such as Latin America, where I'm here now, I'm in a mid-sized city called Bucaramanga in Colombia, then be on the lookout. I'm very close to finishing up a new training video on how I can help people do just that. So I'll probably post something, could be this week or next week, and I look forward to helping you guys moving forward. So be sure to look out for future videos, and thanks for watching.